So when it comes to me working with my clients who ultimately show up for my coaching program so they can lighten up, tighten up, and live in a body they love, they will express to me that one of their top goals is to lose weight. And the extra weight that they're carrying around is something that causes a lot of depression and sadness and disconnection from themselves in their day-to-day lives. And at the same time, I absolutely understand that there can be a real battle, a real mind fuck, if you will, with getting on a scale. And so when a woman comes into my program, there is never, ever an expectation that they need to use the scale as a way to measure their progress. And in fact, one of the first things that we discuss in my programs is, all of the ways that we can measure our success in reaching towards this goal of wanting to feel more connected, wanting to feel more joyful in our bodies, more healthy and radiant in our bodies, more comfortable and confident in our clothes. And so some of these ways in which we can measure that success is just one thing that I just said. Are we feeling more confident within ourselves, more connected to ourselves? How is the inner dialogue? What is that inner dialogue that's going on a day-to-day basis? And is it becoming more loving, more encouraging? How are your clothes starting to fit different? So there's a lot of different ways that we can measure our success, and it does not have to be about what the scale says. But if you do have a goal to lose weight, in my opinion, there's absolutely no shame at all to call a spade and literally declare what it is that you ultimately want to, what goal you want to attain. For me personally right now, I am getting on a scale on Saturday. And as a power lifter, there are age brackets and there are also weight divisions. And the irony of this story is that I remember the very first time. I remember so vividly because it created so much shame and it created so much judgment within my own self, so much challenge and so much struggle for decades, you guys. When I was a teenager and my gymnastics coach put me on a scale, and all of a sudden I made the decision that what that scale said represented my capability of what I could do, as a gymnast, my worthiness. I made it mean so much, and it messed me up mentally for, almost all the way through my 20s. I had a huge, horrible relationship with food. I thought food was the absolute enemy. And here, fast forward now at 49 years old, I can step on a scale and have it mean nothing about my worthiness, what I'm capable of achieving as an athlete, what it means about me as a woman, as a wife, as a person in general, right? And so I have personally worked through so much to transform, some belief systems and some judgments within my own self, to really make peace with food, to make peace with the scale, to make peace with who I am. And so when I say things such as this last post, a friend of mine reached out and she said it shouldn't mean anything about weight loss. And for me personally, right now, it should. It should, because in my reality, number one, if we try to argue with any reality, we are going to suffer. And my reality is this Saturday, I'm getting on a scale and I want to weigh in. I want to be competing in a particular bracket. The irony is the bracket that I want to compete in has more competition than if I were to be weighing a little bit more. So I'm choosing to enter into a bracket where I have more competition to deal with. And so, for me, there is an element about weight loss, that I am striving for. I want to get on that scale on Saturday. And because of the effort and work that I have strategically put in, I know it's going to read, where I want it to read. And so in a way, I understand where she's coming from, because I have been, you guys, I spent so many years of my life in turmoil about, about feeling shameful about what my ultimate goal of what I really wanted to create, and how I would talk to myself about, the way that I felt. And I'm just here to say that it should be whatever it is, whatever your goal that you have set for yourself, you should feel no shame in that. You should feel, hopefully excited and ready, to go after what it is that is most important to you. I believe that we are living in a time where obesity is a pandemic, and being overweight and being under-muscled leads to, a greater possibility of dying from comorbidities, from dying from disease such as diabetes, heart disease, and different cancers. And so I don't have a problem calling a spade a spade. Weight loss is something that can, bring us to greater freedom and health within our own selves. If measuring it by like what the scale says brings you turmoil, brings you, messes with your head like it did for me for many, many years, do not use that as a form of measure. Do not use it. That's one of the first things I will tell my clients. There's so many other ways that you can measure your success in reaching your goal. But I guess what my encouragement is for y'all today is like, what do you really want? What do you really want? What do you desire? And go after it. Peace out, y'all.